The Bible is said to be the inspired Word of God, and therefore it's infallible. It is divine. It's perfection. It has no mistakes or errors. Welcome to Ways to Human. My name is AJ. When I have conversations with Christians and Catholics, and I mention a verse from the Old Testament, they say, "Oh no, that's from the Old Testament. We don't follow that anymore." What most people don't realize is that the Old Testament is the foundation for Christianity. The Ten Commandments came directly from the Old Testament. And they actually came from in between a mix of 613 other commandments. So, if you have to discount over 600 commandments, this indicates the Bible is not timeless, it's not flawless, it's not perfect. So, why should only those 10 commandments matter? Most Bibles contain 66 books, and 39 of those are in the Old Testament. This is over half the entire book. If you have to look away for half of the entire book to make it palatable, that's a problem. And if you only pick and choose verses from the other half, what is the actual percentage of the whole book that you are actually following? Are you using the full Bible? Can you truly say that you follow the Bible? The usual reasoning for not following the Old Testament is that the laws and the stories were very harsh. The parts where God allowed humans to be owned as slaves, incest, rape, and the ownership of women as property, and several genocides. These stories usually have to be retold and adjusted in ways that excuse the behavior and make them necessary or acceptable. If you told these stories as happening today, people will be horrified. Yet, somehow, God gets a pass for them. Another reason for people not following the Old Testament is the claim that Jesus fulfilled the laws. So if he fulfilled all the laws, why are we still supposed to follow the Ten Commandments? These were part of the laws. Not to mention that actually some of the over 600 laws that people claim no longer need to be followed are the ones that people are using to excuse the hate towards LGBTQ people. They are anti-gay, anti-transgender, anti-abortion. They make divorce and sex before marriage a sin. Hadn't we just agreed that you didn't need to follow these 600 laws? So when you think about Jesus, you need to remember that Jesus is that God, the God of the Old Testament. In order for Jesus' story to be valid, they claim that Jesus is the Son of God or God himself, then the God of the Old Testament must absolutely exist, because Jesus would not be a son without having a father. He cannot embody a God without that God existing first. Think of it this way. If your father was not born, neither would you. This makes the Old Testament the foundation of the belief in Jesus. So, if you haven't read the Old Testament, what are you waiting for? Get to know your God. Don't forget to like and subscribe.